The parking lot was unusually crowded that morning, the sun barely cresting over the city skyline. Amid the steady hum of engines and distant chatter, a truck stood stubbornly blocked, its large frame jammed between two compact cars. The truck was no ordinary vehicle. It carried parts destined for a NASA mission, delicate and vital. Jackson, the parking attendant, noticed the problem immediately. The driver had left, keys in hand, trusting the lot would stay clear. But someone had parked recklessly, blocking the exit. The air was tense, minutes ticked by like hours. Jackson said quietly to himself, "This can't wait, those parts have to get through." With no supervisor around, he made a decision that would ripple far beyond the lot's boundaries. He reached for the truck's door handle, his hands steady despite the stakes. Moving a vehicle carrying pieces of a space mission was unheard of for someone in his position, but time was not a luxury anyone could afford. The quiet parking lot now felt like a ticking bomb, holding the weight of a mission that could shape the future. The story of that moment, one man's split-second choice, was about to unfold, uncovering truths about responsibility, courage, and unexpected heroism. Jackson's heart pounded as the engine hummed to life, vibrating beneath him with a steady assurance. The blocked truck wasn't just a vehicle. It was a vessel of hope, carrying parts that could alter the trajectory of space exploration. Every second counted now. People began to gather, whispers rising like a tide, questioning his authority, his audacity. "You can't just move that," one voice called out, but Jackson's mind raced faster than words. The mission depended on those parts arriving on time, and bureaucracy wouldn't save them. He shifted into gear and felt the truck inch forward, tires crunching softly on gravel. The once still lot now seemed electric, charged with uncertainty and anticipation. Jackson glanced over his shoulder, catching a mix of admiration and disbelief in the bystanders' eyes. Sometimes you have to break the rules for the right reasons, he thought, steadying his grip on the wheel. The story wasn't about rules anymore. It was about trust, courage, and unseen acts that change history. As the truck rolled forward, the parking lot transformed into a stage of conflicting emotions. A security guard approached hurriedly, shouting orders that were lost in the hum of the engine. Jackson's hands stayed steady. "I'm moving it for a reason," he said calmly to the guard, eyes locked with a silent plea for understanding. Parts inside weren't just cargo. They were the culmination of years of research, innovation, and human ambition. Each box sealed with care, every label painstakingly applied. The crowd around watched, their faces a mixture of doubt and curiosity. Some began recording on phones, their screens capturing a moment they knew was extraordinary. Jackson felt the weight of every gaze, but also the strength of purpose. The truck's engine growled softly, a low promise of progress as the space mission's destiny began to shift in motion. The truck edged closer to the exit, the mission ticking ever closer to salvation or disaster. Jackson's mind replayed the weight of the decision. Was he right to act alone? He knew the parts inside would be delayed if he hesitated. A supervisor's voice crackled on his radio, asking for explanation. Jackson took a breath and replied firmly, "I had to move it. The truck was blocked. This mission can't wait." Tension rippled through the air. Around him, time seemed to fracture, each heartbeat stretching long and thin. The crowd held its collective breath. Some nodded subtly, understanding the risk taken. Others shook their heads, seeing only defiance. The city beyond waited quietly, unaware of the small drama unfolding in the parking lot. The fate of the NASA mission teetered on the edge of a parking lot decision, wrapped in human courage and uncertainty. Finally, the truck cleared the obstruction, rolling out onto the street bathed in warm sunlight. Jackson exhaled, feeling the heavy burden ease, but the journey was far from over. Whispers of what happened spread quickly, turning him into an unlikely hero or reckless rule breaker. Yet in his heart he knew the truth. Sometimes, ordinary moments carry extraordinary weight. The NASA parts were safe for now. Their journey toward the stars resumed because one man chose to act. As he parked the truck safely beyond the lot, Jackson looked back once, the parking lot shrinking behind him. a silent witness to a choice that would echo far beyond that morning. The world kept turning, but some stories, like this one, would never forget the power of one decision made in a moment of quiet courage. The hum of the city was a constant backdrop as Jackson arrived at the NASA facility, the truck's cargo now safely within his control. The sterile lines of the building loomed tall, reflecting a cold institutional blue under the midday sun. Inside, the atmosphere was tense. Scientists and engineers moved briskly, eyes glued to monitors that flickered with streams of data and equations. Jackson's arrival stirred a mixture of relief and concern. The facility director approached, her expression unreadable, but her posture rigid, radiating authority. She questioned Jackson's decision with calm precision, her voice steady but edged with urgency. Jackson explained the blocked parking lot and the impossibility of delay. The tension in the room thickened as others joined the conversation, voices overlapping in a blend of protocol and pragmatism. Yet beneath the formalities, an unspoken understanding emerged. Sometimes the system had to bend for progress. Jackson's actions sparked a debate not just about rules, but about the fragile balance between order and innovation. The meeting progressed into the control room, walls lined with blinking consoles and large digital maps tracking the space mission's trajectory. Jackson watched quietly as experts discussed contingencies, their voices a symphony of technical jargon and focused energy. He was an outsider here, yet their work depended on his small act of defiance. The director invited him to observe, allowing him a glimpse into the complexity and fragility of the mission. Screens showed close-ups of the spacecraft parts, every component scrutinized with precision. The team was working against a relentless clock. Delays meant jeopardizing launch windows and billions in funding. Jackson felt the weight of responsibility deepen. His decision to move the truck had set in motion a cascade of events affecting countless lives and dreams. Yet, even amidst the hum of technology, human emotion remained palpable: anxiety, hope, and the fierce desire to succeed. In this room, the future was being negotiated one critical second at a time. Outside the building, media vans began to gather as news of the incident at the parking lot leaked. Reporters buzzed with questions, cameras rolling as the story shifted from a logistical hiccup to a symbol of boldness and controversy. Jackson was soon confronted by a determined reporter, microphone poised. "Were you right to take such a risk?" she asked, her tone probing but curious. Jackson paused, then responded with quiet conviction. "Sometimes waiting for permission is a luxury no one can afford." The camera captured his steady gaze and calm demeanor, framing him as a reluctant hero caught in a moment larger than himself. Social media exploded with opinions. Some applauded his courage, others condemned the rule-breaking. Jackson found himself thrust unwillingly into the spotlight, navigating the sudden and unpredictable consequences of his choice. Behind the flash of cameras and rapid-fire questions, a personal journey had begun, one that would test his values, resolve, and identity in ways he hadn't anticipated. The next hours unfolded with interviews, internal reviews, and escalating debates inside NASA's conference room. Jackson was summoned again, this time facing a panel of senior officials, their faces grim and questioning. They reviewed footage, logs, and statements, weighing his actions against strict protocols. Jackson stood firm, explaining how the blocked parking lot left no alternative and emphasizing the urgency that governed his choice. The conversation shifted from accusation to reluctant admiration. The director voiced what many felt: rules are the backbone of order, but sometimes courage must fill the gaps they leave open. The panel deliberated deeply, aware that this decision could set precedent, how much risk could be allowed in the pursuit of progress. The room pulsed with a quiet intensity, the fate of Jackson's position and the broader mission hanging in balance. His quiet courage was now entangled with institutional necessity, a paradox that defined the future of innovation. In the evening's fading light, Jackson found a quiet moment on the facility's rooftop, gazing at the stars beginning to pierce the twilight sky. The noise of the day faded into the cool night air, leaving him alone with his thoughts. He reflected on the ripple his decision had caused. both the praise and criticism, the personal and professional stakes. The NASA mission represented more than technology. It was humanity's quest for knowledge and hope. He felt humbled and burdened by the unexpected role he'd stepped into. The future was uncertain, but for the first time, Jackson understood that sometimes ordinary people become the linchpins of extraordinary stories. He whispered a silent promise to himself to keep moving forward no matter the obstacles. As the stars twinkled above, the night held a quiet assurance. The mission was alive, and so was the courage to pursue it. The morning sun spilled golden light over the launch pad, igniting the colossal rocket standing tall against a clear sky. Jackson arrived early, the air heavy with anticipation and unspoken tension. Every crew member moved with purposeful precision, the culmination of years of work compressed into these final moments. Jackson's gaze swept over the bustling activity. Engineers running last-minute checks, technicians adjusting panels, the flight director speaking into a headset with unwavering focus. The magnitude of the mission was almost palpable. This was not just a launch, but a leap into the unknown, a testament to human curiosity and perseverance. Jackson felt his heart beat in sync with the countdown, a rhythm of hope and risk entwined. As the engines roared to life and flames licked the base of the rocket, a silent prayer hung in the air, a wish for safe passage, for success, and for a future that dared to dream beyond the stars. Inside the control room, a tense hush fell as the countdown began. Jackson was now among the team, his earlier outsider status replaced by a shared purpose. Monitors flickered with real-time data streams, each second bringing the spacecraft closer to its destiny. The director's voice cut through the silence, calm but commanding, as she coordinated final confirmations. Jackson's fingers lightly tapped a console, his mind racing with scenarios of success and failure. The room was a microcosm of hope and precision, a place where every action could shift the balance. Outside, the rocket's thunderous roar grew, vibrating through the earth and into the hearts of those watching. Cameras tracked the ascent, streaming live to millions worldwide. The mission was no longer a secret, but a collective human event, symbolizing resilience and ambition. Jackson breathed deeply, embracing the moment. This was the reward for every sacrifice made along the way. As the rocket ascended through the atmosphere, the control room erupted with cheers and sighs of relief. Jackson felt an overwhelming surge of pride mixed with exhaustion. But the mission was far from over. Data streamed in from orbit, confirming the spacecraft's trajectory and system integrity. The team's celebrations were tempered by the relentless scrutiny required at every stage. Jackson's role evolved. He became a conduit between the technical and human elements, sharing insights and relaying concerns. The director commended the team's resilience and adaptability, reminding them that space demanded both courage and vigilance. Outside, clouds drifted lazily under the bright sun, indifferent to the extraordinary human drama unfolding beneath. Jackson's thoughts wandered briefly to the millions watching, to families dreaming of a better future sparked by this daring venture. The mission had become more than technology. It was a beacon of shared aspiration and determination. Later that evening, Jackson sat in a quiet corner of the facility's lounge, the weight of the day settling around him. He reviewed notes and mission updates on his tablet, the glow illuminating his focused face. Conversations floated around him, snippets of technical jargon and speculative hopes. The director joined him briefly, offering a rare moment of informal conversation. They spoke of the mission's challenges, the sacrifices, and the uncertainties still ahead. Jackson reflected on his own journey, how a single choice had thrust him into the heart of this historic endeavor. The director's words lingered. It's not just the mission that defines us, but how we rise to meet it. Outside the windows, the night deepened, city lights twinkling faintly against the dark sky. In this quiet pause, Jackson felt both humbled and inspired, ready to face whatever the future held. As the mission continued to unfold over days and weeks, Jackson found himself transformed, no longer just a participant, but a vital part of a larger story. The media frenzy had subsided, replaced by a quiet reverence for the mission's progress. In moments of solitude, Jackson gazed once again at the stars from the rooftop, feeling the vastness of space and the fragility of human life. He understood now that courage was not a single act, but a continuous choice. The mission was a testament to what humanity could achieve when driven by curiosity, perseverance, and hope. Jackson's journey mirrored that broader narrative, ordinary decisions becoming extraordinary through purpose and resilience. As the stars shimmered overhead, he whispered a renewed vow to keep pushing forward, knowing that the future belonged to those willing to embrace the unknown with open hearts and steady hands. The lab was alive with focused energy as Jackson and the team gathered around the glowing holographic map that charted their latest discoveries. Each data point represented months of tireless work, each anomaly a puzzle demanding answers. The hum of advanced machinery filled the air, punctuated by quiet exchanges of theory and observation. Jackson's fingers traced the intricate lines of the star systems, marveling at the scale of the cosmos they sought to understand. Outside, the evening sky darkened to an ink-blue canvas sprinkled with stars, mirroring the virtual universe before them. The director's voice cut through the chatter, reminding them that this was only the beginning. Every revelation brought new questions, and the mission's true challenge lay not in answers but in enduring curiosity and relentless exploration. Jackson felt a surge of renewed determination, ready to dive deeper into the mysteries that awaited. Later that night, Jackson stood by the massive observatory dome, the telescope pointed skyward, its glass gleaming under the moonlight. The silence of the night was profound, broken only by the faint whirring of motors adjusting the instruments. He recalled the countless nights spent staring up, searching for signs, clues that would illuminate the path forward. His thoughts wandered to the team's sacrifices and hopes pinned on this fragile thread of light from distant stars. The observatory was a sanctuary of both solitude and connection, a place where dreams met science. As the telescope shifted its gaze, Jackson felt a quiet kinship with the universe, a reminder that despite the vastness, their efforts stitched them closer to the cosmos and to each other, bound by a shared quest for meaning beyond the earthly confines. Inside the conference room, tensions simmered as the team debated the latest data anomalies. Jackson listened intently, weighing each perspective, the weight of decisions pressing heavily. The director facilitated with calm authority, guiding the discussion toward consensus. They spoke of risk, reward, and the ethical lines blurred by ambition. Jackson's voice finally rose, cutting through the uncertainty with clarity born from experience. He urged caution tempered with boldness, a balance difficult yet essential. The room settled into thoughtful silence as they prepared to present their findings to the wider council. Outside, the city lights flickered through large windows, a reminder of the world waiting beyond these walls. Expectant, hopeful, and unaware of the fragile threads holding this mission together. The following morning dawned crisp and clear as Jackson walked alone through the facility's quiet corridors. His mind replayed last night's debate, the balance of hope and caution echoing within. He paused before a large window, watching the first light paint the horizon in soft pastels. Somewhere in that sunrise was the promise of breakthroughs and setbacks alike. Jackson's hand rested lightly on the glass, grounding him in the present while his thoughts reached far beyond. The mission's path was uncertain, riddled with challenges that tested not just technology but faith in the human spirit. Yet, amid the complex equations and endless data, Jackson found a simple truth. Every step forward, no matter how small, was a victory against the unknown. The sun climbed higher, and with it, his resolve. As twilight embraced the horizon, the team gathered on the rooftop for a rare moment of respite. Jackson looked around at faces, illuminated by the fading light, determined, weary, yet unwavering. They shared stories, laughter, and silent glances that spoke volumes of shared sacrifices. The stars emerged, bold and clear, like promises etched in the sky. Jackson raised a glass in a quiet toast to their journey, past struggles, present triumphs, and the uncharted future. The mission was no longer just scientific. It had become a tapestry of human dreams woven tightly with courage, hope, and the relentless pursuit of what lies beyond. As the night deepened, Jackson felt an overwhelming sense of belonging, a conviction that whatever the outcome, they had already reached further than most dared to dream. The air was thick with anticipation as Jackson stood before the assembly, the grand hall buzzing with whispers and expectant gazes. Months of research, debate, and sacrifice had distilled into this pivotal moment. He spoke clearly, voice steady yet charged with emotion, recounting the journey that brought them here, through uncertainty, doubt, and unyielding hope. Behind him, screens flickered with star maps and data streams, visual proof of their relentless pursuit. The audience, a tapestry of scientists, officials, and dreamers, leaned in as he unveiled the breakthrough that promised to redefine humanity's place in the cosmos. Jackson's words painted not just facts but a vision, a shared future stretching beyond borders and fears. As applause slowly filled the room, a profound silence lingered, the quiet before the dawn of a new era. After the presentation, Jackson retreated to the observatory deck, the cool night air wrapping around him like a blanket. Above, the sky was a sprawling tapestry of stars, their ancient light a reminder of how small yet significant their work was. He let his gaze wander, reflecting on the countless hours, the setbacks, and the moments of triumph. Each star seemed to whisper stories of possibility, of worlds yet to be discovered. The weight of responsibility was heavy, but so was the exhilaration of being at the edge of knowledge. In the solitude of that night, Jackson renewed his vow to push boundaries, to listen to the cosmos, and to carry forward the dreams of every soul who dared to look up and wonder. The next morning, the team gathered for a debrief in the sunlit common room. Laughter mingled with thoughtful conversation as they recounted their journey, each story a thread in the tapestry of their shared experience. Jackson listened, heart swelling with pride and gratitude for the people who transformed challenges into breakthroughs. The future was uncertain, but the unity forged in those moments was unbreakable. Plans for the next phase unfurled across digital whiteboards, sketches and equations blending with bold ideas. As they prepared to embark on new paths, a profound sense of belonging settled over them. Their mission transcended science. It was a testament to human resilience and the unyielding quest for truth. As afternoon shadows lengthened, Jackson found a quiet moment alone in the lab's greenhouse, surrounded by lush greenery, thriving under artificial light. The contrast of nature and technology mirrored their journey, growth nurtured in the cradle of innovation. He touched the leaves thoughtfully, recalling how every breakthrough, like these plants, required patience, care, and a touch of faith. The scent of earth and fresh growth was grounding. Here, in this small pocket of life, Jackson saw a metaphor for their mission: to cultivate hope amidst the unknown, to foster discovery with humility and wonder. The future was a seed, fragile but full of promise, ready to bloom in time. Twilight returned, painting the sky with hues of amber and violet, as the team gathered one last time on the rooftop. This time, there was a quiet celebration, a shared understanding that the journey was both ending and beginning anew. Jackson raised his glass, eyes bright with emotion, thanking everyone for their unwavering commitment. Around him, faces lit by the fading light mirrored his resolve and hope. Stars began to sparkle overhead, silent witnesses to human dreams stretched across the cosmos. The mission had transformed them all, scientists, dreamers, explorers, into something greater. A family united by the infinite quest for knowledge and the courage to pursue it beyond all limits. The dawn cracked open a new horizon, the sky glowing with soft pastel hues that promised a day unlike any before. Jackson stood at the edge of the launch platform, heart pounding with a cocktail of excitement and solemnity. Around him, the hum of machinery and the bustle of technicians prepared for the mission's critical final phase. His eyes traced the massive spacecraft towering above, a sleek monument of human ingenuity, every panel and curve whispering tales of ambition and sacrifice. He breathed in the scent of metal and fuel, grounding himself in the reality behind the dreams. Voices buzzed through comms, final checks underway, but Jackson's mind was distant, reflecting on the journey, the countless obstacles, the camaraderie, the moments of doubt that were now eclipsed by hope. Today was more than a launch. It was a testament to the indomitable spirit that dared to reach for the stars. As the countdown clock ticked down, the air grew thick with anticipation and barely concealed tension. Jackson's hand gripped the control panel inside the cockpit, the cold tactile buttons grounding him amidst the storm of adrenaline. Outside, the launchpad lights blinked in rhythmic precision, casting eerie shadows across the cockpit's curved glass. His co-pilot, eyes sharp and steady, exchanged a brief nod. This was the culmination of years of preparation. Every protocol memorized, every scenario rehearsed. Yet beneath the technical mastery, an unspoken current of awe and vulnerability flowed between them. The spacecraft's engines roared to life, vibrations humming through the steel hull as the final seconds vanished into history. Jackson's breath hitched, the moment balanced on the precipice between fear and exhilaration. The rocket surged upward, shaking the very air, as Earth's gravity reluctantly released its grip. Inside the cabin, Jackson felt the pressing force of acceleration, muscles straining but spirit soaring. Outside, the planet shrank beneath a swirling mosaic of clouds and oceans, a fragile blue orb suspended in infinite black. Every heartbeat echoed the collective hopes of a world watching, every breath a prayer mingled with determination. Communication channels flickered with steady updates, grounding him in the complex choreography of flight. As the spacecraft pierced through layers of atmosphere and silence, Jackson's thoughts flickered to those who had dreamed of this moment before him, the explorers, scientists, and visionaries whose legacy now propelled him forward. Beyond the atmosphere, silence enveloped them, a serene void that was both awe-inspiring and humbling. Jackson floated slightly, weightless in the soft hum of life support systems. Through the viewport, distant stars blinked like ancient sentinels, and the pale crescent of Earth curved gracefully beneath them. He reached out to touch the glass, a symbolic gesture bridging two worlds. The mission's real test lay ahead, uncharted territories, unknown dangers, and discoveries that could reshape existence. But in that moment of tranquil suspension, Jackson found clarity and resolve. The vastness of space was not a void but a canvas, waiting for humanity's story to be painted across it with courage and curiosity. As the mission pressed forward, the crew's bond deepened into an unspoken language of trust and shared purpose. Jackson led daily briefings with calm assurance, balancing the weight of command with empathy. Challenges arose, systems glitches, unexpected phenomena, but each was met with measured resolve and teamwork. The vast unknown tested their limits, but also revealed the resilience and brilliance of the human spirit. Messages home carried hope and wonder, touching hearts across the globe. Through every moment of uncertainty, Jackson remembered the journey from dream to reality, a testament to perseverance, collaboration, and the endless quest to understand our place in the universe. At dawn on the rooftop, Jackson stands alone, watching the city wake beneath soft morning light. The cold wind tugs at his jacket as he breathes deeply, steadying his nerves. Memories of loss weigh on him, but the sunrise fills him with quiet hope. He knows the path ahead is uncertain, but his resolve is firm. Today, everything changes. With a final glance toward the horizon, he steps forward, ready to face what's coming. Inside the dim command center, monitors cast an eerie blue light. Jackson's face is lit by flickering screens as the team prepares silently. Each movement is precise, urgent. The hum of machines fills the air. Jackson touches a worn photograph pinned near the console, a reminder of why the fight matters. The stakes are high. He steels himself, focused and calm, ready to lead through the coming storm. In the war room, the briefing begins. Jackson listens carefully as plans and risks are outlined. A digital map flickers with enemy positions. His team, 4 others, late 20s to early 40s, exchange determined looks. Jackson weighs every choice. This is survival. Time is tight, stakes higher than ever. When he speaks, his calm voice inspires courage. The team's resolve hardens, they're ready. Beneath a dark sky, the team moves silently through the dense forest. Jackson leads, senses sharp, every step careful. The night is thick with tension, Every sound could signal danger. Moonlight filters through leaves, casting fleeting shadows. Ahead, enemy lights flicker faintly. Jackson's thoughts center on their mission and those who depend on them. The team presses forward, silent and ready. As dawn breaks on a quiet field, Jackson kneels beside a fallen comrade. Fatigue and relief mix in his eyes. Around them, the team regroups, weary but alive. The rising sun bathes the land in soft colors, promising hope. Jackson's voice is low but steady, offering words of comfort and resolve. The battle is over, but their journey continues. With strength renewed, they prepare for what lies ahead.